Insured Zone. The Insured Zone with Bet Insured.
It's actually the end of an era, and Manchester City talisman talking about Kevin De Bruyne will be leaving the club at the end of the season. Who will fill in the boots of the big Belgian at the club? Welcome to another interesting episode of the Insured Zone podcast brought to you by Bet Insured, of course, the most reliable sport prediction platform in the world. I am FM Karik and I won't be doing it alone as usual. I have my analyst in the building, Kaka. Welcome to the podcast this weekend again.
Thanks for having me. How are you doing, brother?
Fantastic. Of course, together we will be discussing, dissecting and talking about games that will be going down this weekend. But before we enter into it, let's see the outcome of our predictions from last weekend. Those of you who follow our predictions religiously and play our games, I want to say congratulations because I know you've had enough brains. Like, share, subscribe, and also put on the notification button so you can see more content from us whenever it drops. Now, let's get straight to business for this weekend. The English Premier League enters match day 32 and fantastic games are all lined up for the weekend. The first one we'll be talking about is the game between Manchester City and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace will be taking a trip to the Etihad Stadium. Crystal Palace will be visiting the Etihad Stadium. Mateta is back and of course he is looking strong. Will City be able to crack Crystal Palace in this game?
Yeah, thank you very much for that. But before I go into the game proper, I want to say, what a big loss to the Premier League.
Of course.
Kevin De Bruyne leaving, the fact that, it was not offered a new contract. You could probably understand from both parties why they probably think he wants to go in another direction. What a fantastic, footballer.
Of course.
Even if you are a rival, you have to
admire the
player he is. I used to call him my favorite opponent in the Premier League. So yeah, it's good to have had him. I think I'll put him in the same brackets with the likes of Frank Lampard, coach, and Steven Gerrard. He's that good.
He's one of the biggest midfielders.
He's that good. Yeah, he's that important for Man City. But I hope someone comes up and take a few in the box. Whatever it is, it does have a big shoe to fill. So going to the game proper, Crystal Palace going to the Etihad Stadium. I think said Mateta is back and back among the goals. Yeah, he had a fantastic goal. You would not even think he's supposed to that has an ear injury. He still knows where the goal is.
Even with the mask on.
Even with the mask on, he had a fantastic goal against Brighton last weekend. And I'd expect nothing but a good game in this one. I think we'll see a lot of goals. And Manchester City, dwindling in that fourth position, are they going to get it? Are they not going to get it? It's a big discussion. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I think Man City should make this.
I'd want to ask, if Manchester City do not qualify for the Champions League this season, what rating are we going to give Pep Guardiola? It will be his first time not qualifying for the Champions League.
It will be. We usually ask this every now and then. But I think this will go down to the wire. I think it's go down to the last day.
Of course, 7 more games in the Premier League, of course, and it is getting down and even more interesting. Now let's get to the prediction of this game. A big game, of course, and a lot of goals is expected in that game. Now to the second game, the game between Arsenal and Brentford. Arsenal will be hosting Brentford in another interesting match. Of course, Saka is back. I think it's over for us now. Mathematically.
Yeah, mathematically it's not over. It's not over mathematically until it is mathematically. But yeah, the Starboy Saka is back and he came back with a bang. But coming in the second half against Everton, you could feel the rustiness. coming back from such layoff, it's difficult for players to pick themselves. I mean, they still have the second place to play for. Still, I mean, you don't have to dwell so much on the fact that the league might be lost, but it is not lost mathematically. At the same time, I think I just see them taking the 3 points at the Emirates. I mean, playing at home, it's usually counts for something. I think they've lost just once at the Emirates this season. So yeah, I think Arsenal wins this one.
Let's see the prediction of the game between Arsenal and Brentford. On to the next, people. Ipswich is facing the risk of being relegated very, very soon. And of course, they have a tough game to play against Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. Ipswich will be visiting Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge, a team that is already, almost condemned for relegation because they look like a team that is going down the drain. How will they cope against Chelsea?
You look at that match and you cast your mind back to last week when they played on Wolves, same relegation threatened team. I think there was about 9 points between them. And if they had won that game, I think they played at home. If they had won that game, it would have been 6 points. And that would have been actually very difficult. And I mean, he probably giving them a chance to survive. I mean, but losing that one after going 1-0 up, I mean, that might actually be might serve as a morale draining for them there. So yeah, I mean, coming to Stamford Bridge, I mean, Chelsea looking so good at home. I mean, they've won 5 on the bounce at Stamford Bridge, and Ipswich almost condemned for relegation alongside Southampton and Leicester City. So yeah, you think Chelsea on the other hand looking to secure their top 4 place again. And it's a battle of staying up and a battle of going to Champions League right now, and you fancy Chelsea to win that one.
People, let's get to see the prediction for this game. On to the next, relegation threatened Wolverhampton Wanderers will be home to Tottenham Hotspur in another interesting Premier League game for this weekend. And of course, a lot of people are saying Tottenham, they are so down, and they might not even qualify for Europe this season. What will happen between Wolves and Tottenham Hotspur?
Gigange has been quite vocal about the second season. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going
the right way, the way he planned it.
I mean, the way he says it. You can blame injury for all we want. But at the end of the day, it's Tottenham. I mean, they have fantastic players in their ranks. I mean, they've been doing quite well in Europe. We'll see if they eventually qualify to the next round in that one. But yeah, going into this one, Wolves at home, this is the part where it gets tricky. It gets very, very tricky for teams. You have a team that is looking to secure their status in the Premier League, and at the same time, you look at Tottenham that is probably looking to push up the table, and
probably qualify for
at the very least conference. But it's looking unlikely, very much unlikely, I don't know, because it's even the teams up above Tottenham. They're not ready to leave their position to drop points at this stage. I think at the end of the day, in this one, I think it just ended in a draw. Yeah. I see goals, but I think this one just ends in a draw.
Goals galore.
Yeah.
Well, Richarlison seems to be back from injury. How do you think that will boost the confidence of the squad?
When players come back from injury, it's always difficult, irrespective of who you are. They would also ease them back into the team. So, I don't see him actually doing much more than he has done over the last couple of years for Tottenham.
Of course, he might not even do more than he has been doing before. People, let's get to see the prediction for this game between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Tottenham Hotspur. Now, another struggling side will be going to face a team that is really, really in form. Newcastle United will be hosting Manchester United. It is the battle of the United, and we want to know who is really, really united and who is divided. Newcastle will be hosting Manchester United. Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, of course, still struggling to really, really get the best out of the squad. Newcastle, a free-scoring team. Isaac is in fantastic form. Jacob Murphy, all the squad, and of course, this match will be another tricky one for Manchester United.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Every match has been tricky for Manchester United since Ruben Amorim got the job, and he has been in his interviews. I mean, he has been honest about the struggles of Manchester United. They found it difficult to find the back of the net. I mean, in the final third, their players have struggled. You see a lot of profiles, Zexi, Reguilon. I think Tiff been over reliant on Bruno Fernandes getting the assist and getting the goals. I mean, it doesn't speak well for the team of Manchester United. But at this time, I think Newcastle might just be the more united team. I mean, the morale of winning the Carabao Cup, I mean, and fighting for the top four. I mean, they are definitely in the mix. They still have a game in hand, and they are right there in the mix. So yeah, at St. James Park. I'm sorry, United fans.
Already.
I'm sorry, but I don't see them getting anything out of this game.
Now they need to get the players right, and people, let's see our prediction for this game. And on to the last one that we have selected to talk about Liverpool, of course, the selected champion, if I may call them that, will be taking on West Ham United. Interesting game to look out for, Liverpool versus West Ham.
Yeah, again at the Anfield Stadium, if they win this, we might just as well just crown them the champions of England already. Kudos to Slot. He's been fantastic. You know, especially it's his first season. I mean, probably they were underwhelming in other competitions, but you can't say he has not done well in the league. I mean, nobody actually gave Liverpool a chance at the start of the season. I think we'll be a split in between Manchester City retaining their title and Arsenal. I mean, coming to this one, I think this should be easy for Liverpool. It should be an easy win at the Anfield Stadium for Liverpool.
Okay, another easy win for Liverpool, and probably they might go on to become champion as soon as possible. Let's see our prediction for this game. Now let's get to see our prediction for the rest of the games, of course, on the topics from the Premier League. Hey there, have you been struggling with your predictions, losing money week in, week out? I am here with the solution, www.betensure.com. You will get the best predictions that will help you make more money. We are the only platform that give you the most reliable prediction you can always trust. Sign up on www.betensure.com right now and get all these interesting packages. Now let's check out our bonus picks from the Italian Serie A and the Spanish La Liga. And finally, on the Showzone podcast for this weekend, our 20-odd weekend bank on 1xBet are specially curated by our expert right here on Bet Ensured. And this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on the podcast for this weekend. Special appreciation to Kaka for coming on the podcast this weekend. Kaka, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure always.
Of course, and together we will be here next week to give you more interesting predictions. Do like, share, subscribe, and also put on the notification button so you can be the first to see our content whenever it drops. Remember, that's right here on the Ensure Zone podcast. We don't just predict the future, we ensure it. Bye for now.